What would it mean if I told you that there was cars with a literally 5 years day supply on the lot? What's day supply? Well, based on the last 45 days, X amount at that sales rate, how many more days, months, weeks, years you have of sales at that current rate. But we know there's vehicles. I've got a list of 10 of the worst thanks to the folks over at Car Edge. I want to share some of the lists and the vehicles, as well as Cox Automotive, the average day supply. For example, some of the worst in the industry, Jaguar, Lincoln, they're over double the industry average. The industry average day supply is around 85 days now. We've seen that come and go throughout the last couple of years as inventory, the availability has risen again. We've seen day supply drop because obviously now people are out shopping, buying, and there's just more vehicles available. Vehicles like Mini, on average, 129 days supply. Infiniti, 101 days supply. Vehicles like Kia, 77 days supply. But we also notice the Lexus and Toyotas are up around that 31, 36 days supply. And we know it's been actually pretty difficult to get a decent Toyota, or even in some cases certain Hondas and Lexus vehicles in the last few years. It's not uncommon to say you've had to wait 3 or 4 months to get a brand new Toyota. That's been a very common phenomenon. So we know Toyotas are not some of the worst sellers. We know Toyotas are generally a hard to get product and you've got to wait. And so day supply is naturally going to be very low on those, and only very specific models like the Tundra are going to be on the poorer selling side. Tundra, Tacoma with the new engines and some of the challenges with reliability. But let's take this from the top. The folks over at Car Edge compiled a great list for us, and we're going to share that with you. So starting from the best to the absolute worst, and I can't even believe it. The worst vehicle, actually, it's almost 1,800 days supply, and this is absolutely mind-blowing to me. I can't believe, based on the current sales rate, they've got about 4 to 5 years of inventory left. Nobody's buying them. It's clearly, it's one of two things, pricing or it's junk. And that's clearly what some of the issues are with some of these manufacturers. So either it's priced too high or it's just got a bad reputation. And nobody really wanted these vehicles in the first place. You know, people want reliable, quality vehicles, but then these manufacturers feel that they can kind of create whatever. And with the attitude of you build it and they will come. But enough about that. Let's take this from the top. The first vehicle on our list is the Mini Cooper Hardtop, 224 days supply. Mini BMW. People are sort of done with that. I mean, it was chic at the time for a while when Mini first came out. It was kind of cool. And they make some great two-door cars that are fun to drive. But, you know, you get in sort of these larger ones, hardtops, these, it's just not a vehicle that's appealing to a large audience. And while it's very chic and exclusive and small niche market, there's just not enough buyers out there for Minis. They're wonderful to drive. They're fun. But people are looking for practicality, and because it's part of BMW's space, the reliability is sort of questionable. 224 days supply there. The Audi A7, not a shocker, 225 days supply. The Audi A7, not the most reliable. We know VAG Group's been struggling in the last few months here, last few years actually, but we're seeing Volkswagen Audi Group not selling the way they've wanted to sell. You know, as a matter of fact, some of the plants in Germany are looking at, you know, closing doors. Workers are, you know, in some cases getting laid off and canned. And the A7 is a premium car. So people no longer are looking for a car because the car market seems to be shrinking and the SUV and truck market seems to be expanding. But also the luxury segment just adds another element, peel away another layer of that onion, means that it's just a hard car. It's a car, it's full size, it's luxury, and it's Audi. So it's not a good seller. 225 days supply based on the current 45-day average. And the next one should be no shocker either. Land Rover Discovery. I think when you look at those, the bathtub look design at the back of them, not a really good looking vehicle. 232 days supply for those vehicles, and the quality, reliability, you know, it sort of speaks volumes. You know, the JLR group, they've taken time off. We know they have in Jaguar, and the Land Rover group is all part of that world. Now, there are incentives, and some of these products have been selling, but it's sort of spotty, and the reliability records sort of speak for themselves. So the sales of them haven't been spectacular. The Nissan Z or Z car, 233 day supply. Nissan's not selling, like not selling at all. Why do you think Honda's now having to step up? Word has it, Honda is looking at collaborating with Mitsubishi and Nissan, trying to get together to create something that's affordable in the electric vehicle space to compete with the Chinese market. And in doing so, Nissan clearly has been struggling for weeks and months. You know, we've seen staff members, we've seen a lot of staff getting canned. We've seen the CFO leave. We've seen the CEO taking pay cuts. And they're doing everything but pretty much giving away all of their profits on trying to incentivize these vehicles, trying to get people to buy them. I had an older 280ZX back in the day, an 81. It was a little manual gearbox, straight six. It was a lot of fun, but mine was rusting away and rotting away. I remember I paid like $1,800, $1,850 for mine back in the day. And it was a lot of fun. Now, it wasn't pretty like this, but you know what? They are what they are, right? The next one is the Jaguar FPace. FPace, E-Pace, not great sellers. The FPace there's still a lot of inventory laying around out there. They weren't taking orders. The last I heard, you could not go into the dealership and get a brand new order. Jaguar pretty much took a year off. We know that, you know, with this new rebrand that was all controversial. The F-Type, the sports car, bye-bye, great car, but it just didn't sell in the numbers. E-Pace, not a great seller. F-Pace, also poor seller. There's lots of them out there yet, but based on the last 45 days, extrapolate, how many more days supply do we have available? Well, according to these statistics, we're saying we've got about 241 days supply left. So we're kind of, if they stopped today, which they are, and they're selling at the current rate, they'd be out in good part of a year. So they're almost cleaning up, which would kind of add up because they are talking about possibly picking up and mounting their spurs and getting back on the horse again here probably within a year. They said they were taking a year off. Okay, Jaguar XF, same storyline, and that one's 280 days supply. Sedan, again, Jaguar and the reliability, JLR, some of the controversy there, durability, poor sellers. It's also luxury sedan on a shrinking market. It's uphill headwinds for sales all day long. So you've got what, 9-10 months of sales left to get caught up on the XF, which we won't be seeing an XF. There's a Type 00 that's coming down the line here soon that they showed as a precursor, but yeah, we'll see. But it's too bad. You know, they're not selling well. Another one, Alfa Romeo Giulia, 285 days supply. Again, not a big shocker. Alfa Romeo, Maserati, part of the Stellantis group, and Stellantis has had a real bugger in trying to sell cars. You know, it's just been a tough uphill battle. Pricing's part of it, the quality's part of it. You know, hitting the target audience with a lot of the Stellantis products means that the sales have been in the toilet for almost everything under the Stellantis umbrella. Why do you think Carlos Tavares got the informal, formal walk-in papers? Because of a lot of the products in the Stellantis fold, and these are some of the worst. Now, they're a fun car to drive. I personally have driven a few different Alfa Romeos, the Stelvio, the Quadrifoglio of both the Stelvio as well as the Giulia. Spectacular fun to drive, but you know, the limited market availability, or not market, but the limited dealership availability. If you live in a smaller community, you won't be able to service them. So it really isolates buyers to living in, you know, cities of, you know, 1 to 2 million and above is usually where you're finding a dealership like that. So people are nervous, people are scared. You know, it's the Italian brands, and Alfa never really had a great reputation for reliability, but they are a lot of fun, I'll be quite frank. The next one, Chrysler Voyager. 300 days supply. I've showed you those all over the place. Those are pretty much the rental car specials. We see them all the time on the rental car lots because they can throw, you know, a ton of people in there. It's a practical, easy vehicle to rent because especially when people are coming to visit, it's easy to throw, you know, 4, 5, 6 people in a vehicle and go touring around. You know, these are, you go to Hawaii, you go to Mexico, you go anywhere, and touristy locations, you'll always find these types of vehicles in the fleets. And that's pretty much the only way these are selling. Nobody wants them. Again, it's part of the Stellantis fold. I mean, it's Chrysler. Chrysler basically just sells a minivan. Chrysler is pretty much all but washed up, and I would be shocked to see if Chrysler is around within a year from now. They have one product line. It's not a great product line that in terms of sales, And as a result, there's a 300-day supply. So they're moving on. They're about 10, 11 months day supply at current sales rate. But remember, it's pretty sad because if you didn't have the fleets picking up most of these, I don't know who's buying them. I haven't seen almost none of these driving around. When's the last time you seen a brand new Chrysler Voyager cruising around? I haven't seen too many on the streets unless they had the rental plates on them. Nobody wants them, and nobody really wants minivans anyway. Now a lot of SUVs function very well, accessibility, the back seat space, get that third row. And SUVs, you know, typically give you ride height, better all-wheel drive systems, and people often more go to the SUVs rather than the minivans. And the stigma, of course, with a minivan just isn't there. So there's sort of a washed up, obsolete product. And here's one, another product that nobody wants. You know, the Audi A3. We don't have VAG, so Volkswagen and the Audi and Porsche sales are down too. But Audi sales, I mean, here we have a small little sedan. It's their smallest, the A3. The engines that come in those aren't that reliable. You've got to get into the RS3, which makes it fun. You get the Turbo 5. But honestly, the A3, the S3, not the most durable products. Turbo 4s. And, you know, it's a product that not a lot of people are looking for. You know, if you want something smaller, luxurious, usually people are, I mean, they're just not going there. They're looking now for SUVs. That seems to be more of a hotter commodity. And so getting into a brand like Audi just feels very obsolete. Like, when's the last time you've heard of anything exciting, newsflash worthy from Audi? It's been a while. I know it's been a while for me. 468 days supply. That's absolutely ridiculous. Remember, the industry average, I said Cox Automotive was about 85 days supply. That's the average, blended average of all brands. 85 days, and here we have a product that's at 468 days supply. So now you're over a year, you're about a year, almost a year and a half, a year and a quarter. At the current sales rate, the Audi A3 is just a trash seller, and the quality speaks for itself. Now, here's the one. This is the absolute decimator. And again, no shocker when Stellantis, you know, is front page news for sales, whether they're going out of business. There's been a lot of reputational challenges. There's been a lot of quality recalls. They're up there with Ford with maximum recalls. You know, the CEO is canned, Carlos. The product line is just obsolete. You know, they're trying to sell and pitch a product that the North American buyers don't want. So you push something on somebody that they don't want, push something on people and buyers that, you know, that don't want it. This is exactly what you're finding. And so what we have is a product. It's a car. It's a poor seller to begin with. People want something, you know, SUVs and sporty vehicles specifically. If you're going this route, there's better choices. You know, the Mustang's still around. The Camaro just basically quit. But there's better options, and it's the Dodge Charger. 1,755 days supply. Oh man, what a catastrophe. Wow, how many years is that? That's what, almost 5 years, almost 5 years at the current sales rate. Not a good seller. The Dodge Charger, Challenger, all of that stuff. You know, now the problem is the latest is electrified and they've gone EV, and it wasn't selling well anyway. And it's unfortunate because I believe Tim Kuniskis, if I'm not mistaken, was sort of pushing the V8s and the Hemis and all of those Chargers and Challengers before he left. And I think this is a sign. Is Dodge on the way out? I mean, I've said this in other videos already. I said over on Exotic Car Play Place, you want to check that video. I'll share the link at the end. But 4 car brands that won't be here in a year. And is this one of those? Is Dodge going to be around in a year? Chrysler, you know, Alfa Romeo. You notice the trend here? A lot of these vehicles are all from the same OEM, the same general program, and that's Stellantis. And the Dodge Charger, clearly it's a product that nobody cares about. Nobody wants it. It's old. It needs a refresh. And with, you know, almost, what is it? Almost 5 years supply available at today's current sales rate. Nobody's buying that stuff. So I think that speaks, you know, the reliability, the durability, transition to the EV market, the obsolete, the overpricing of a lot of their product line. I think it's just everything just comes and just meets at the crossroads, and Stellantis is feeling the hurt. And the Dodge Charger is clearly leading the pack for worst sales. If you can believe it, Jeep was one of the worst general brands, but specific models, the Charger is one that just nobody wants, nobody cares about. And it's unfortunate, but there you go. Well, with all of that said, I'd like to hear your thoughts, why you think these vehicles are not selling. Any specific ideas? Right there. Check it out. Exotic Car Play Place. I share that. 4 car brands that I don't think will be here in a year. And as well, over there, you're going to want to check out that video. That's a fun one too. You're going to love it. Hope to see each and every one in the next one. See you real soon. Bye-bye.